It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 279 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens, ducks, and geese every day.
And we kiss them too, don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Oh, today we needed a real pick-me-up, so we hit the Texas cinnamon.
That's our fave. Now, if you want to try out Texas cinnamon, because that's a really unusual flavor in coffee, and it is great, where should everybody go to get this coffee?
brightandearlycoffee.com.
And use our code CWTCL15 for 15% off a bagged coffee. If you need K-Cups, go ahead over to Amazon. You can get them there and follow them on their social media. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious Texas cinnamon and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsors.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Okie dokie.
Yeah. We'll just start off very quickly by saying thank you to our Nutrina sponsors and thank you to the retail establishments that hosted us over the duration of the roadshow, right past month or so. We had a great time. We met some great people. I want to give a big shout out to Chris that we met in Montana. Chris and his family were really doing great things with their flock and set on learning all they could. And Allison, who came out to see us. Allison was all decked out chicken lady-wise and looked amazing.
Yeah, and I want to thank Murdoch's, Blaine's, and Baumgars for hosting and having us, and most importantly, Nutrina for sponsoring this entire roadshow and putting us out there so that we can help make everybody's chicken experience the best.
We want you to succeed. We want your chicken journey to be
fun,
a good one.
And great for your chickens. Other than that, it's been a whirlwind. I don't know which end's up, which ends down. We've been working our little nails to the bones here. We've been working a lot. So to get this show produced and out there in between traveling the country, but all worth it to meet all you guys. It was so worth it.
Yep. Now
what are you doing over there today?
I'm sliding into the early gardening stuff and, getting things cleaned up around here for spring. Good spring cleaning. How about you?
Same. This winter was so terrible. Chickens in my garage for over 2 months that the garage needs a major cleaning also. So just trying to reswizzle into spring and get over there and do all the spring cleaning stuff like you said. That's all I'm doing over here too.
Yep. Well, our last order of business is that we want to remind all of you that our book is available for pre-order. Pre-orders help us enormously in a lot of ways, including the ranking of our book when it comes out in the fall. If you want to pre-order your copy, you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much any place that sells books. You can go straight to our website, coffeewiththechickenladies.com, and find the links there.
Something else I'm doing is getting ready for Easter. It's my favorite holiday because I go to brunch. I don't fix it here. We'll go to the club down the street.
I go to my sister's for Easter. We go there every year, and it's just like a really fun spring feast. I love that we can get some early spring veggies in and just have a really nice afternoon with family.
I'm so excited. Shout out to Mountain Branch Country Club because they put out the really delicious bread pudding, their sauces. I look forward to it every year. And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. While you're there, hit that subscribe button because you never want to miss any of the fun.
If you're looking for some other ways to help the podcast, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. you can become a patron of the show. Patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thank you to our wonderful patrons. We love you guys. And the other thing you can do to help support the show, besides buying our book, is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay! You know what I love when it's 95 degrees outside?
Being inside.
Well, that too, but I really love cleaning my igloo chicken coop.
Yeah, it is so easy to clean. You don't have to break a sweat.
And you can use a water hose or pressure washer, so it doubles as a cool down. I also love those run covers.
Oh man, the shade is superb. I go into the run to cool off.
Yep, my flock's covered during the heat of the day, just chilling.
Meanwhile, we're melting on the patio. Seriously, can we get in on this amazing coop design for ourselves?
They're out there living the dream.
So when it's pushing 100 degrees, the right setup matters.
That's why we choose an igloo.
Get your girls their own just in time for summer.
Search Omelette. That's OMLET.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards. Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today.
Dun, 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 dun. It's time for the Breed Spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a good thing unless I laugh. I don't know. Okay, so this week's Breed Spotlight is...
It's the Deathlayer. I mean, people just go crazy over the name of this chicken, but I gotta tell ya, it's not like, I don't know.
The gothic chicken.
It's not like a gothic chicken. It's not like a fighting chicken, nothing like that. It's
an emo chicken.
I don't think they are emo chickens. They're just kind of like great little farm birds.
They are, but I'm just saying if you were listening to the name, you would be like...
Right.
Oh, this is my emo gothic chicken.
I mean, you could say that, but then you see them and you're like, yeah, there's nothing emo or gothic about that chicken.
Exactly.
The Deathlayer is really an absolutely beautiful chicken with that unusual name. They are rare in their native Germany, and they are even more rare in the rest of the world. We decided to spotlight them this week because one of our local feed stores, Bauman's in Westminster, Maryland, has Deathlayer chicks coming in for the last week of April and the first week of May.
Kudos to Bauman's for getting some really different breeds. That's awesome. I love that.
One of the weeks that they have the Deathlayers, they also have Splash Americanas. And the next week that they offer Deathlayers, they have Houdans and a variety of Polish.
I love the fact that farm supply stores will switch up their breeds because I feel like there are people out there that get the same breeds over and over again, but then there are people out there that want to experiment with different breeds. And if you don't go to a farm supply store, you can just drive home with your chicks, but you can't get those breeds there.
Right. The establishments where we were hosted the past few weeks, I feel like they were doing a good mix of heritage breeds. They had some hybrids too, but
yeah,
a lot of the fanciest chickens that came in sold out the quickest.
I feel like that's what happens is people are like, oh my God, I've always wanted that chicken. I could never get them at the farm supply store.
Right.
Here we go. So yeah, I love it. Love it.
Deathlayers don't have any kind of sensational history. They don't have a really interesting origin story. They're just really good chickens who lay well and make up a great flock. They were developed in the Westphalia region of Germany, which was formerly part of the Prussian Empire. Their name in German, Tottlager, or Westfälisch Tottlager, I'm sorry if you're German, translates to Deathlayer. But other people in their homeland translate this as long-term layer, long life layer, or everyday layer. I mean, tot translates to death, but I guess it's the usage that says, you'll see a few theories for the name, but I think the simple truth is that Deathlayer comes from the same idea. And that is that people would say this bird lays an egg every day until she dies. This simply isn't true. I don't think there's any bird that lays an egg every day until she dies. It's a nice idea.
Man, that poor bird who does
right?
do that. Seriously, everybody needs a break occasionally.
That's for sure. So it sounds good. And this whole lay egg a day thing was part of the landrace tradition of this breed. So Deathlayers have been around for about 400 years, maybe a bit longer. Like we just said, they developed as a land race and they lived happily in the German or the Prussian countryside until Westphalia was heavily damaged during World War II. And the Deathlayers were nearly wiped out. And they weren't nearly wiped out just because of disinterest. They were wiped out because
of the war and
was
bombings.
destroyed. Right.
Yeah.
And then we know the rest, the rise of commercial laying industry and hybrid laying hens. And honestly, the Deathlayers are known to be unhappy in confined spaces. So despite their egg-laying prowess, they would not do well in an industrial setting.
Really? Let's just say this. No bird wants to be in an industrial setting.
No, I mean, some do fare better than others, but absolutely. Now, their already low numbers fell even further in the mid to late 20th century. The most recent information estimates that there are about 1,500 Deathlayers in Germany. That is not a lot.
Nope, that's not a lot. I agree.
So we're going to fast forward to 2016. In 2016, Greenfire Farm imported the silver Deathlayers, and then 3 years later in 2019, they imported the gold Deathlayers. Now, they have a nice write-up on their website of their experience breeding these birds, and we highly recommend that you read it if you have any desire to keep or breed them. Two big takeaways. Because the Deathlayer is not an American Poultry Association accepted bird, you will have to use the German standard for breeding, and Greenfire has a link to that. The other thing is that these birds are fragile when young and quite susceptible to Merrick's. You will want to purchase vaccinated chicks and vaccinate your own chicks at a day old to give them the best chance of survival and to keep your flock Merrick's free.
You feel very strongly about that because you were like, you will want to definitely get them vaccinated.
Well, I meant like the universal you, but anyone, yes, you do not want Merrick's in your flock.
The Deathlayer is a small body chicken with beautiful silver or gold penciled feathers. They have a small rose comb and a small to moderate sized wattles. They have those slate kind of grayish color legs, white earlobes, and big black eyes. There's something about chickens with big black eyes staring up at you that's just so cute. Now, they will remind you a lot of the Hamburgs, buttercups, and Egyptian Fayumis that have those big black eyes. They all look at you that same way.
Right.
The Hamburgs are one that I always said that I might want to get.
I definitely want Hamburgs at some point. I love them.
So let's look at how much they would weigh. Roosters weigh in at about 5 to 6 pounds, while hens are about 3 to 4. So they're going to be about Mediterranean size. So they're going to be smaller. Hens have a jaunty upright tail, while the boys have a full, beautiful tail with green and copper highlights. Great to go with sunlight beaming on those feathers and Instagram ready for your social media. Now, they're gorgeous, an entire flock of them. Hey, if you have green sheen on feathers, that could be pretty amazing and a pretty amazing sight out there.
Everything about them is beautiful. If I really do my little flock of sprightly birds, it would be Egyptian Fayumis, buttercups, Hamburgs, and I would happily add Deathlayers to that.
And they might peck you in the eye. So the Deathlayer hens will lay about 200 to 250 medium large white eggs per year. We love these white eggs. Don't be against the white eggs. They make all your other colors pop in your egg basket. You need some of them to make everything look good. They have not been selected for broodiness, which is good for a lot of people unless you want them, to be hatching a clutch of eggs. Now, there are exceptions, of course. Keep that in mind. So you might get a broody one. You never know. If you want to breed, use the incubator or a broody hen of another breed. I'm sure that you may have them. Now, this is a very active little chicken. They need to have supervised free range or a really large run with lots of enrichment, because if not, you will have some bullying, you will have some bored chickens, lots of bad stuff.
They are known as somewhat flighty, which, we talk about this all the time. This is a defense mechanism that comes from being a predator-savvy landrace breed.
They know when to get the heck out of there, man.
That's right, they do. Get out of Dodge. They're great for a homestead laying flock if you can meet their needs, and their beauty makes them a fantastic addition to an experienced chicken lady or chicken person's flock. I say experienced because this is not a beginner's chicken.
No, and a name? Just a name. I mean, it's a cool name, right?
Right.
It's a Deathlayer. You can say it in really cool fashions, like, my Deathlayer is going to lay me a lot of eggs.
If you want to sound weird, you can do that.
I'm not sounding weird, man. I sound good. Wait a minute. Let me get my Deathlayer out here.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so they're not fighting birds, thank goodness.
Right. Like, the name is just a name. When you see them, you're going to be like, they're the least Deathlayer looking thing you expect.
When I see them, I'm going to be like, there's my Deathlayers.
They're going to
And
be
they
like,
generally get along with other chickens, which is great. They love it when
If.
you introduce them.
if you can give them the environment that they need. They really need a lot of space, and we're not joking about that.
You have a good boombox with some introduction music, and every time they walk out of the coop, you say, Deathlayers!
Oh, God. Okay.
Deathlayers!
On a realistic note, Greenfire Farm notes that a Deathlayer rooster, he needs about 10 ladies to keep him happy.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Apparently, he is a lover.
Oh, yes, he is. I mean, so here's the question. Where do you get the Deathlayer? Which we kind of already gave the answer to everyone.
Well, in the U.S., Greenfire Farm sells straight-run chicks, and they do breed both color varieties.
So make sure you get 11 eggs at least.
Well, right now, they're currently sold out of hatching eggs, but they are offering chicks of both colors, and you can have them vaccinated, and should have them vaccinated.
You should have them vaccinated.
That's right. Cackle Hatchery also offers Deathlayer chicks. There are a bunch of smaller breeders out there offering both chicks and hatching eggs. We advise you to exercise great caution, especially with the eggs.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get.
Deathlayers! Deathlayers!
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit metzerfarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera.us.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Eaton Pet and Pasture is a farmer-owned company based in upstate New York that creates USA-made, sustainable products for backyard chicken keepers. From low-dust hemp bedding and comfy aspen nesting pads to nutritious treats and odor-eliminating products, everything is designed to keep your coop clean, healthy, and smelling egg-tastic.
All their products are made right here in the USA with ingredients that are safe for your flock and the planet. So whether you're doing a deep clean or just a quick refresh, Eaton makes it simple to care for your coop the natural way.
They're your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness, made easy.
Visit EatonPetAndPasture.com to explore the full line of flock favorites and use the code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount. Are we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. This week, we are super duper happy to have our friends, Stephanie Thurow and Michelle Bruhn back. Michelle and Stephanie, if somehow you don't know,
How do you not know?
they're the authors of Small-Scale Homesteading, which is really a really phenomenal book for those people who don't have literally acres to grow on. You can do what you need to do and what you have. Stephanie and Michelle, it's great to see you again.
For having us back. Hello, our sweet friends. It's so good to see your faces. Yay!
So good to see you guys too. I cannot wait for this conversation.
And you know
wherever it goes.
Anybody who is in a suburban area who wants to even think about doing this needs to go out and get your book because it is amazing. This isn't just a plug. We have the book, each of us. We love it. We use it. I mean,
And
so much good stuff.
I would say follow you on social media too, because, that's where you put the stuff you're doing day in and day out. And Chrissie and I get mega inspiration from both of you for gardening and preserving. I mean, gorgeous stuff.
You.
That's
It makes me think I can do it. And then I go out there and I'm like, can I do it? I gotta do this. I gotta grow this. Come on.
We need to figure out your garden space, Chrissy. We need to figure it out.
Michelle, you need to come and stay with me for a weekend.
We could have some fun if we did that. I'm just saying.
Bonfire, gardening, chickens.
So, with the book, I will say I reference our own book all the time. Because as I'm going through, I'm like, wait, how did that go? What's the spacing? What's the, all the things. I like having it all in one space.
No, it's kind of awesome if you can write a reference book and use it as a reference yourself. Can't get wrong with that.
Yeah. If no one else uses our book, or, when we were writing it, we're like, well, at least our kids will have like an heirloom and we can remember how we do things. So
it's like a legacy. And I do it all the time. It's so funny because Holly would be like, oh, we had a lot of looks at this recipe today. And I was like, that was me. That was me today.
Oh, that's right.
I was looking at that recipe online.
Yeah. It's usually one of our more obscure recipes that I was really excited about that just people aren't looking at. Oh, I saw. Nope.
That was me.
That's funny.
I was going in to make it. Yeah.
Defeats me. Stephanie, you go first. What's new and exciting with you? How you doing?
Oh, boy. Well, it's been a really long winter for so many reasons. But as far as weather, it's been long, cold, snowy. So now finally the end is in sight. We're starting to do our seed starting. We're starting to think about the next growing season. So that's really exciting. Michelle and I both tapped our trees, but we have like a weird season once again. We make maple syrup with our maple trees. Last year, I didn't get to make any syrup because we had like a 2 or 3 day window where the temperatures were right and missed out. Usually we have 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. This
year's going to be a really short season. Like we got a quart made. That might be all we get because it's heating up here now and that might be it. So as far as what's new, not a whole lot. I've kind of actually been scaling back to just what we really enjoy most. I think I'm going to put in some new garden beds again. Not really expanding out much. I got the same old hens doing the same old things, and that's okay.
Yes,
good. We're kind of happy where we're at right now. We've expanded year after year for almost 18 years, and I think we're where we're at.
Can you remind everybody the acreage you guys are on too? Because you're tapping trees and you're in a suburban area. That's what I want everybody to understand. That's amazing stuff, right?
Yeah, so I live in the first ring suburb of Minneapolis, so I could throw a stone into Minneapolis, and I'm in Richfield, which it's just a typical like ramblers. So I have 0.18 acres. So that's my house, my garage, my driveway. So we have a pretty standard sized front yard, backyard. And then we just
tapping trees.
Just one maple tree, but we have 2, but we tap 1. That's all we need. So it's a surprise how much you can get from that one tree. Because we didn't tap that tree for 7 years that we lived here. And it's like I figured you needed a forest of trees, but no, you just need one mature tree. So you can do so much more than you realize with the space you have. And that's what our whole entire book is about.
I have sugar maples, but I'm on 4 acres. And last year I missed the window too. I only ended up with a little bit of sap. This year we're traveling so much, I think I'm going to miss it again. Do you guys talk about tapping the maples in your book at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a little chapter on it. And it's so exciting to let people know that it really only takes one tree. It's very worth tapping a tree, even if you only have one. And even if it's not a sugar maple, right? There are lots of different varieties of maples and they're all worth tapping. You can even tap your birch tree there's like lots of different trees that you can tap and use the sap from. So most trees, it's going to be like 40 gallons of sap to 1 gallon of finished syrup after you finish the boiling down process. And there's lots of different ways to boil it down. You can either do it like on an open fire, or Stephanie has it much more compact and like probably energy efficient than we do.
Can I wear some colonial clothes on the open fire?
Smoke pipe.
Yeah. Smoke a pipe. That's hilarious.
With the syrup. Let's put it in and boil it.
Mixing the cauldron now or what? Yeah. So we even have like a DIY, like how to make a barrel stove for boiling sap down in the book and stuff. So there's lots of different pieces. And I think one of the best parts of the book is that Stephanie and I do a lot of things differently, even though we're both suburban homesteaders. So you get to see both of the two different like ways to do almost everything, honestly. And it's great. And different is not bad. Different is good, because like we want to show you that there's not one right way to do any of this. Yeah. So as far as acreage, I have a little bit more. I have 0.45, something like that, acres. So almost a half an acre, not quite. And we have a double deep back lot is kind of what the scoop is here, just because of the layout of the rest of the land. So we grow maybe more square footage, but probably not much, because we just happen to have lawn in between the garden spaces. But yeah, so we've got lots of garden space, one maple tree on our property. And then when you're in suburbia, you can knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, can I tap your maple tree too?
I tap that.
So I tap that.
Holly didn't tap that.
I tried to tap that. It didn't go well. So,
oh my God. But that's the beauty of being in a neighborhood.
That's a problem with suburbia. Everybody's knocking on everybody's door and saying, "Can I tap that?" And they are.
Yeah. So
Holly's moving me along.
Train of thought is just you derailed me. I wanted to go back to the trees. I don't know why my poor brain couldn't remember that you guys did tapping maples in the book. You may have been what inspired me to actually do it, but I can't remember anything. I know Stephanie's got the chapter open. So, but when I was talking about it on the show and having it not go well, people were really interested. So just a reminder, it's in your book. Go get it. Maples, I think maples are the most common tree in the US. So it's not like they're hard to find.
No, I bet you somebody in your neighborhood has one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different types. And so sugar maple is going to have the most sugar content, but we tap silver maples and it's almost the same sugar content. So, you might have to pull out a little bit more sap. We're not really counting. It just takes a lot of sap to make a little syrup, but it's worth it. The first year we did it, I think we only got maybe a pint, and I canned them up in really tiny little weck jars and we just savored the heck out of it. And then if you have a big season, you can share a little more or hang on to it for a couple years. I still have jars from 2 years ago. We had a super good year, and thank goodness I have some left since, last year we didn't get any, but we just don't share as much. But yeah, we have step-by-step instructions on what you need to do with small scale production for sugar syrup making. And we have maple candy recipe. If you have a really good year, you can make maple sugar, which is heavenly. And then maple candies are a little delicious treat, perfect for Easter time.
You get eggs. You can use that for baking. You can use that maple syrup for all of your baking, which makes it even more delicious if you have the fresh eggs and the fresh maple syrup. And you're in a suburban area. This is amazing. That's why you ladies are the perfect, I can't say it. It's just great what you do. You do so much. I'm impressed by you. And I just want everybody to know it because I want them to be able to do it too.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give a shout out for the maple syrup too. Here, I think probably the majority of our maple syrup goes into making our granola.
Oh.
And nice. I would never buy maple syrup and put it in granola because it's expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
With real maple syrup, it gets really expensive. But when you're doing it yourself, and so I think that's this key that is so fun to unlock in suburban homesteading stuff is that you can do things yourself where it's the pride is there, the cost effectiveness is there, the connection to nature is there, and you end up with far superior quality, whatever you're doing. And I get to feed my family really good granola with maple syrup that they help boil down. And I think that connection is huge. That's a huge part of it.
Homemade granola is amazing. I used to make it. This is way back. This is when I still lived on the family farm, and it was not with our own maple syrup, but it's absolutely delicious. I can't imagine how I need to get back into that one of these days.
My sneaky ingredient is I use applesauce in it as a thickener, and when it bakes, it's so good. So I have homemade applesauce and homemade, and it's so fun. I love this. I have to grow my own oats somewhere else, though.
Let's not start Holly in on apples because this thing will take a major turn then.
Okay.
So, I was really excited. I thought I lost a couple of my apple trees last year, and there's this one particular heirloom apple called Wolf River that makes giant apples that survived.
Oh, good.
Okay, Chrissy, no more apples.
Well, one more thing. When I was over there before, the geese are eating all the trees. I'm like, Holly? And she's like, my apples!
Yeah, there had to be a lot of structure put in place because the trees thought, the geese thought that saplings were the most delicious thing ever.
Ooh.
But that being aside, okay, so So since we're on the subject of poultry, Michelle, we know that you have some new chicks and you haven't told us what the breeds are yet. So can you spill the beans?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. So we have an existing flock and we're adding to them. We've got 4 more babies to add to the flock. And so I have 2 different Americana.
Ooh.
They look very different too. So I ask, let's get some different looking ones from the beginning. So I'll be able to see, and hopefully there's a couple different egg colors in there. So we have one that is already in our flock. And so we're adding 2 of those, 1 speckled Sussex.
Yay!
Because I love my speckled Sussex so much. They're just so fun. And then a Rhode Island Red, which I have not had a Rhode Island Red in forever. And I was like, let's just go back to the basics here a little bit. So I got a Rhode Island Red, and I'm really kind of excited because
you're going to love her.
She's the sweetest one of the bunch right now as just baby chicks. So they've been home for 5 days.
That's going to be an amazing little flock. I love those breeds you picked. And the thing about the Rhode Island Reds is if you only get one, because they have a strong personality. If you only have one, you don't have to deal with the girl gang bullying. You get all the love. It's wonderful.
I have just one, and she is amazing. I love her. And she was my husband's pick. Holly and I were at the feed store, and we were like, he wanted 1 chicken for his own. Joe's like, get me a chicken. And he's at home looking up egg statistics because, it's all about that with that guy.
He wanted maximum egg layer. She doesn't need maximum egg layer, but that's what he wanted.
Yeah. So he's like, get me a Rhode Island Red. And I was like, oh, but I love her so much. She's one of my most cuddly chickens.
They're great.
She's awesome.
And
you had a Rhode Island, didn't you?
I do right now. Yep.
Oh, you do still? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's her name?
An Americana. That is Hawk, or my daughter named her Hawk.
I love it.
That's cute.
Why not?
So, okay. So what are your numbers? Stephanie, how many chickens do you have?
We have 3 right now. That's all that our city would allow when I got them. It's been bumped up to 6 now, but my space won't hold 6. So, and I have an Americana Gold Star. They're both 6. And then I adopted 2 teenagers a couple of years ago. One didn't make it a year and a half, got sick. And so now I just have the 3. And Michelle has much more.
Michelle's face right now, if you guys could see this, you would be laughing because she's like, do I have to say this on air?
You don't.
I have the allotted number of chickens for my
there you go
city code.
There we go.
That's it.
There we go.
That's perfect.
Which is what? Do you even know what that number is anymore?
I'm not going to say numbers because I do not want to get in trouble. And for anybody listening, for anybody listening who is not allowed to have chickens because of some city code, if we're in suburbia, this is drastically different all over the country. Yeah. So we're in a neighborhood. Some places don't want you to have chickens. Well, guess what? You can go to your city council and say, no, it's time for us to have chickens.
Yeah.
And I go over that a little bit too. I changed the code in our city to be able to have chickens. Yeah, because I figured why not? And it was mostly because it just hadn't been updated. You could have pigeons. Because this was it was from the 1920s.
So you have quail. So you could probably have quail then too, is my guess.
I don't think quail were listed. It was just pigeons for what did they used to travel and fly?
I was going to say, I need to send a note to somebody, so I need a pigeon at my house.
I think I don't know. Anyway, it's back from the day. But so we got it updated to be able to have chickens and bees because there were people who wanted to be able to have honey and have a hive in their yard. So we updated it. That's been 9 years, 10 years maybe.
Oh, wow.
That we did that. So, and no problems with it since we started it. So if you're interested in doing that, there's tons of information on how to do that. I want everybody to be able to have the freedom to raise your own hens if you so choose.
Absolutely. If you walk away from this episode with only 2 pieces of advice, I think it should be the syrup and the getting those laws changed, getting those codes changed. Because really, we all homestead for different reasons, but at the end of the day, I believe everyone should have the right to raise as much of their food as they possibly can and want to. And that includes eggs. They're integral to our food culture.
Yeah. Way back in the day, there were so many, along with all the Victory Garden propaganda that our country put out, it was every home should have at least 6 hens in the backyard to feed a family of 4. This was out there.
Oh, yeah.
And so And these were in cities, right?
Right.
This was not like just country propaganda.
No,
so
I mean, some of those posters are fantastic. My personal favorite is "Raise Hens for Uncle Sam." I'm not sure what Uncle Sam was going to do with your hens, but I love all that war propaganda.
Yeah. Well, and P.S. we're kind of back there. So let's keep moving forward and doing what we can do to help our own food system. And we don't need to get into that, but I will just say it feels really good to have some control over some part of your food system. And if that's growing herbs in a patio garden, then that's what you should try, start with. It's
right.
Being able, and we say this in the book, Stephanie and I, that like the biggest thing with modern homesteading, suburban homesteading, small-scale homesteading is looking at your home as a place of production, not just consumption. And once we like break free and break through that is a huge win for us as individuals, and then also collectively as communities, because we're taking back some of our power.
It's perfect.
I think that right now, like today, the climate was growing. I think the last time we talked to you which I believe was right after your book came out. But there are even more people who want to homestead and think it just cannot happen because they don't have the land or they live in a townhome or whatever. But it's not true. There are a lot of things you can do.
And I just want to mention, with the 3 chickens that we have, when they were younger, okay, they started dwindling off because as chickens get older, they don't lay as many eggs. In case, you guys probably all know that, being listeners of this podcast, but in case you don't. But when they were young, we were getting 800 eggs a year with just the 3 chickens.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't need 10 chickens. For our family of 3, that was more than enough. So...
Yeah. It doesn't sound like, when you say this hen lays, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you put that overall production together, they feed you massive amounts.
And here's the thing. We have done 1 egg recipe every single week for 5.5 years. That's how many things eggs are in this world. Even if you get 3 chickens and you have them lay their eggs and you eat those clean sources of protein in whatever you bake, you can get so creative with it. Do it. Don't use small space as an excuse. It's not an excuse anymore. It's not.
Yeah, they don't take up that much space. They really don't. I have an 8x8 poultry pen, and that's enough space for my 3 girls. I mean, I let them out and they roam around the yard and destroy everything, but they're cute.
Let's talk about planting, because there's so many things you can grow for yourself, your family, and your chickens. So let's talk about what you ladies are leaning into this year planting wise. Michelle, what you got happening?
Well, I've started lots of onions and leeks and celery and parsley, some of those early seed starting things. And I've started some peppers already. So we really stagger our seed starting because we are so far up north for us. And then I've got a couple brassicas like cabbage, some cauliflower, bok choy, some of those early things that can take the cold a little bit, because I will grow a lot of things undercover. So I start early and I have a cattle panel greenhouse and some low tunnels set up and a cold frame and stuff. And we go over all that and how to use that stuff in the book as well. But it's really fun for northern gardeners we have about 100 growing days, 100 days to grow all our food. And we grow I grow 800 pounds of food on my... And that's without all pumpkins or something, right? This is all just little by little by little. It's really fun to track how many pounds of food you grow. It's very empowering, I think. That's a mix of all those things that I start from seed every year, along with, we have a lot of fruit trees. We have raspberries. We have a strawberry patch. We've got a lot of perennials in there too. And I think to a homesteader starting out, put in some perennial fruits. Yeah. It's so fun to see that grow along with your, what you're doing. Yeah. So
fantastic.
I love growing all the things. I don't know. It's so fun.
If you had to give someone who is new, let's say your top choice for a beginner to grow that both they and their flock could maybe eat, what would you pick?
Ooh. Well, my chickens really love broccoli leaves and cauliflower leaves and the cabbage leaves, the outer pieces. Yeah. And they are big. Those plants take up space in the garden, but I see them as feeding like 3 times, right? Because they're good for the garden to grow, right? And I'm breaking off those bottom leaves and feeding them to the chickens as they go. Huge source of calcium. Mm-hmm. You don't have to purchase the oyster shells if you're feeding them that. Like there's so much calcium in those green leaves. It's amazing. So I'm feeding them that. Then they're giving me eggs from that, right? And then I don't have to compost those leaves. And then I get to eat like the cabbage, the broccoli, whatever. But then once you're harvesting, there's also more to give to them. Yeah. So I think any of the brassicas are a great 2-for-1 for your flock and yourself.
Absolutely. Right there with you. The brassicas are my favorite. Stephanie?
I would say herbs because they're very expensive to buy at the store and you can easily grow them, right outside your front door. I do it in the front and the back. And then your flock can benefit from them too. And certain herbs are good just to like sprinkle around in their run. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? So I would say herbs. Biggest thing for your buck.
I love growing herbs because they're so fragrant. You can use them. The grocery store, what they give you for $1.50 is like ridiculous. I mean, come on. You can get so much from them. So and the chickens can really benefit from just eating them. And you know what? Some of them, like the citrus balm, the citronella, you can plant around your run. They can eat and it can keep bugs away from them in the summer. So you can really help them out that way, like chicken gardening and stuff like that. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. And I don't usually do this, but I think calendula and marigold, both, like if you give them the petals, your yolk's even more orange and bright and stuff. And that's like in a mix that I'll do sometimes at the end of the season, like with oregano, I know is really great. And sometimes if I'm really into it, I'll chop everything up and dry it and then bring it back to them. But usually I just yank something out and throw.
I do a lot of yanking and I do a lot of yanking and throwing too. Okay. And I love growing calendula because, one, it is really, really good for all the poultry. The geese will strip a calendula flower before you can blink. Having always had sensitive skin and eczema growing up, I like to make calendula skin salve. It's really easy to make it. It's really good.
And I'm always the marigold girl.
We have salve recipes in our book, including calendula oil, and we also have recipes for making flock blocks and suet blocks for your chickens using dried marigolds or calendula. So
that's why your book is our go-to. It's our go-to.
It is. It really is.
You have all the stuff that we love. It's just, that's good stuff. Well,
clearly, because I have forgotten some of the things in the book. We have the studio copy, but I need to go buy myself one because I need a refresher on some of these things. As always, I've got a link to Michelle and Stephanie's social media, websites, and a link to buy the book. Go buy it. You want this book. It is the best small-scale homesteading reference book that you can buy.
Oh, definitely. And it's inspiring and it's a beautiful book. The pictures are beautiful. Everyone should follow you guys on social because a few times I've been like, hey, I'm going over there for dinner. I'm getting on a plane and coming over for dinner because the food just looks so delicious that you guys are growing. And the most remarkable thing is both of you are under a half acre. Under that, that's why you inspire us. You should work to inspire our listeners that you can do something. And people will get tired of saying start small, but micro steps are the way to go, especially if you're in small space.
What's small though? It's small and mighty. If you can produce that much food, that's not small. That's big numbers in a reasonable space. That's what that is.
Yeah. I mean, but if you're even smaller, start on the windowsill and grow something. Grow your herb that you're going to use in your dishes that you really use all the time. And then you'll feel stronger and stronger to branch out.
Right. Like one tomato plant or one little bowl of herbs. You don't need to do it all. We always say that too. Do what you really like. I'm probably never going to have bees. That's okay. It would be cool, but I don't have that passion. I'm not probably going to do it. Right. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all.
I don't like beets either.
Don't grow beets.
No.
Right. I think that's another part of the beauty of being like in suburbia is you have neighbors that maybe they want to do that and you don't, and that's okay. And then you can swap like your things, and that just builds that stronger community bonds all around. And then we're more resilient all together. And I think that's at the heart of what this movement kind of is all about, being able to just take a little bit more control, be closer to nature and your neighbor.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And on that note, we want to thank you immensely for coming on the show again, for spreading that small space wealth of information out there, because, hey, that's where it's at. Do with what you got and make it the best you can and live life that way. Hey, it's awesome.
Thank you for having us back for the third time on our book's third birthday.
We'd have you ladies back 20 times because
I feel like we just
give us new information.
We just started to get into the meat of the discussion and we have to say bye. We could probably talk for so much longer with so much great stuff, but we got to go. Stephanie, where can our followers find you on social media?
Come find me on Instagram at Minnesota From Scratch. And my website is minnesotafromscratch.com. And I'm on Facebook at Minnesota From Scratch. But I'm most active on my Instagram, just posting what I'm doing in my stories. And one thing that Michelle and I have in common is that we're not curating really fancy posts and stuff. This is real life. This is what we're doing. This is what we're living. And I think people can relate and appreciate.
Absolutely. Michelle, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I'm at Forks in the Dirt. That's my website, my Instagram, and my Pinterest and my YouTube, which I don't do too much on that, but that's okay. And then my Facebook is Forks in the Dirt MN for Minnesota, because my original one got hacked a long time ago. So,
oh man,
that's not good.
All right, everyone, look up Stephanie and Michelle. You will not regret it. Thank you, ladies. It was wonderful to see you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
We'll talk to you later.
Thank
Sending
you.
you so much love.
Bye.
Hope to see you in person again soon.
I know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
We just want to thank Stephanie and Michelle one more time. We had the best conversations with them. There just is not enough time to get into everything we want to talk about.
3 years ago, when we met them, you ever think like the four of us would become such great friends? It's awesome. It's so much fun.
Because they're fantastic. I did think that.
They're the best.
They are. If your flock could talk, they would thank you for shopping at Eaton Pet and Pasture, your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness made easy.
From their all-natural USA-made favorites like hemp bedding, roost refresh, and nesting pads to convenient product bundles that make chicken care simple, Eaton has everything you need to keep your coop clean, cozy, and odor-free.
Check them out at EatonPetAndPasture.com and use code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount.
Okay, so we're ready to move on to
cracking the eggs.
Cracking those eggs. Now we're doing something for kids because it's the end of March. March has been kid recipes. We're keeping it very simple. We're explaining the most simple of all of them now. Some scrambled eggs.
Right. One of the easiest dish anyone can make regardless of age. This is hardly a recipe. It's more like a technique, really.
That's exactly what it is.
So people have been scrambling eggs for thousands of years, and there's even written evidence that proves this that came from Rome, Egypt, and India. You can eat scrambled eggs on their own, on a sandwich, in stir fry, as a side dish, on top of pancakes, waffles, or anything else under the sun. You also scramble eggs to make anything that's custard based, like quiche or bread pudding or pumpkin pie filling.
Yep.
It is a basic cooking skill that you will use for the rest of your life.
Okay, here we go. Scrambled eggs Sophia can make.
So that's one thing she can make.
Yes.
Sophia, I do not cook DiCarlo.
But she does make some good scrambled eggs. So,
excellent.
If she can do it, anybody can do it. You can scramble these eggs. Now, it's not a long ingredient list today, which is great. So we're going to do eggs, however many you want, man. It doesn't matter. You need 1 to 2 teaspoons of liquid per egg. You can use milk, cream, non-dairy milk, water, whatever, and some salt and pepper. That's about it. And you have yourself a delicious meal.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put, you can add other seasonings. You can add other things into your scrambled eggs, but these are the basics. In an appropriate sized bowl, and by that I mean the size you need for however many eggs you're breaking, break in the eggs that you want to scramble. Add the liquid. Remember, that's 1 to 2 teaspoons per egg, and you're going to scramble using a fork or whisk.
Hey, you know what? I think using a fork is a Baltimore thing.
Do you think so? Because we all do it. I know. I
know.
Sometimes I'll even go to make something that needs 10 eggs, and I go for my fork and no, I need the whisk for this. But it's hard to give up that fork scramble.
The fork, I mean, you just feel really good. When you're using that fork. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Accomplish something. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So when you scramble, you want to mix the white and the egg yolk together completely, and you get that nice mix of fat and protein. The liquid helps to hold everything together, but at the same time, it adds steam during cooking for extra fluffiness.
Yeah.
You can add whatever seasonings or add-ins you want and pour into a greased, pre-warmed frying pan or skillet. Let the eggs cook, stirring occasionally to form curds until your scrambled eggs have reached their desired creaminess. Some people like them really creamy. Other people like them more cooked. This is completely individual. Then serve as desired and enjoy your scrambled eggs.
I'll put one caveat out there is if you're going to add fresh veggies, cook them first to cook the moisture out of the vegetable, then add them to the eggs so that you're not over watering down your eggs.
I think at that point it becomes like an omelet or something though.
Yeah. But I mean, like I do that all the time. Like I just chop something, but I'll cook it first and then throw it in there too.
The only exception, and I actually do this a lot in spring and summer with the garden. The only exception to that is fresh greens. I just slice them up and toss them in.
Yeah, we also do a lot of cheese. Cheese is something else that you can throw in your scrambled eggs and make them extra done. Now, Joe does not like scrambled eggs without peppers and onions. So we always have pepper, onions in our scrambled eggs with cheese. Okay. So that's the stuff that you can throw in and have the kids do the fork whisk thing. They'll love it.
Learn to scramble. It's a great skill. Absolutely.
It is. And enjoy it. Okay. So let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're doing another seed spotlight, and it's Bok Choi, because this is one that you can grow in a little earlier in the season.
I love Bok Choi. I grow tons and tons of it.
Great for stir fry.
It is, really. Bok Choi, and you'll see it under different names. Sometimes people call it Bok Choi, but it basically is the same thing. Bok Choi is a cool weather vegetable that has been cultivated in China for about 5,000 to 6,000 years. It produces thick stems and leaves, and the leaves are often spoon-shaped. And all parts of the Bok Choi plant are edible and nutritious for you and your poultry. It's a close cousin to mustard, and both are members of the Brassica family, always super healthy. Brassicas are known for being really cancer fighting.
They are, and they're known for being early in the season.
They're often very cold hardy. Sometimes you'll see bok choy listed as a subset of Chinese cabbage, of which there are many types, all delicious. Now, these bok choy stems will either be white or green, while the leaves can be a wide variety of colors, including purple. It is very easy to grow, and even though it prefers cooler temperatures, it grows surprisingly well into late spring. This is one you can do with your kids. Plant the seeds in about 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Water them every couple of days, and it's very low maintenance and easy to grow.
Oh, yeah. So let's go into some of the vitamins and minerals that you're going to get from the bok choy. It's high in water content, and it's packed. It's also low in calorie and high in fiber. Now, a daily serving of bok choy is rich in vitamins and meets about 50% of your recommended daily allowance of, listen here, vitamins A, C, and K. All very, very important.
Yeah.
It also provides folate, vitamin B6, and calcium. It's one of those greens that's really high in calcium, so that's good. It's awesome. It's an excellent veg for you, for your flock. In early spring, when winter has depleted your body's nutrients and you need some extra, oomph, get that bok choy going. Oomph. Especially beneficial for hens coming back into lay because of that amount of calcium in there.
Now, if you listen to our main topic, Michelle mentions chickens eating brassicas and getting calcium from them.
Yep, exactly.
If your chickens eat enough brassicas, they can get the calcium they need. We don't know what that number is, so we suggest that you keep giving them the oyster shell.
Just have it out. Yeah.
But maybe one day you'll become experienced enough and you'll have some quantities that you've figured out have worked for your chickens to just get their calcium from greens. It is possible.
I mean, greens are so good for chickens, the calcium, and greens is one of the things too that vitamin D is in, which is really hard to find. So
right. Bok choy can be eaten raw, steamed, braised, sautéed, stir-fried, grilled, used in soups and casseroles, and can even be dried or pickled to preserve your harvest. It goes very well with eggs. Its mild peppery taste kind of is balanced by creamy egg dishes. It's a traditional vegetable in Chinese cooking, but it can be used anywhere that a recipe calls for greens. You can dice up some of the raw stems and either keep them raw or just lightly cooked for any place or any dish where you want to add a little bit of crunch. It has a nice fresh crunch to it.
I usually always eat mine stir-fried. That's the way I've cooked it.
Delicious stir-fried.
I add it to my veggie mix for stir-fry. And honestly, greens are known as superfoods, and you can't go wrong with getting something that's so dense in vitamins and minerals that you need. So you and your chickens can all just enjoy it. So grow it. It should be fun. Now, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of bok choy cultivars that come in a bunch of different sizes and colors. Now, let's go through and name these. Baby forms of bok choy are very popular and great for small space gardening. Purple lady bok choy, I like the name of that one. Mm-hmm. Shanghai green and snow white are a few examples. Now, you can find bok choy seeds almost anywhere these days, especially if you go through catalogs. You can go to True Leaf Market. My favorite, Baker Creek Rare Seeds, Botanical Interest, Back to the Roots, Eden Brothers, and Bucktown Seed Company are just a few of the many options where you can find these seeds. And you can start, with your kids. This is great to do with your kids. Plant them. Hey, plant it. You might like it. See if you like to do it.
I grow a ton of bok choy, and I use it in a million different ways, and I pickle it too.
Yeah, and your geese probably also eat it also.
The geese love it. Sometimes I don't harvest the whole head. Sometimes I'll use it like cut and come again.
Yeah.
And eventually you end up with a lot of coarse bottom stems and leaves. Yeah. I just pull that out, throw it to the geese. They devour it.
And I'm sure the squirrels and bunnies enjoy it too in your yard.
No, because it's in raised beds, so those little buggers cannot share. That's for me and my household and my poultry.
Okay, so should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about?
We are spotlighting the absolutely beautiful Sumatra chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Main topic, Ginger Stevenson, the marketing manager from McMurray Hatchery, is going to join us. We're going to talk about some new breeds and get caught up for what's new over at the hatchery.
We love ourselves some ginger.
Mm-hmm. Cracking the eggs. Oh, yeah. Savory asparagus-filled crepes.
Sounds good to me.
And retail therapy, we're talking about spring-themed table settings. Yay!
There's a lot of stuff out there. A lot. Okay, so what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese.
And kiss them, too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.